George Balekji here with NESN Patriots beat reporter Dakota, Randall. The Pats coming off a 54-13 win over the Jets. Now they head to the road for 2 straight weeks starting this Sunday in LA, taking on the Chargers in Dakota. Do you see the Patriots pulling anything from that 54-point outing that they can apply to this Sunday's matchup with the Chargers?
Well, the Patriots this week have talked a lot about pulling confidence out of that game and really going into this game against the Chargers feeling like a more confident team, and they should. They played well against the Jets. You score 54 points, you should feel good about yourself. But listen, the Jets played really bad in that game. They were awful on both sides of the ball. And so I don't think you can pull too much from it, but one thing that I do think is worth looking at is the offensive line has really stabilized after a rough start to the season, and Damien Harris had another excellent game. I think one thing about the Chargers, they have one of the worst run defenses in football, so I think if the Patriots can get out there, establish the line of scrimmage and have success running the ball, I think that'll be a key for them potentially winning this game.
Damien Harris, of course, having back-to-back 100-yard games. The Chargers allowing over 160 rushing yards per game so far this season. Now, defensively for the Pats, I mean, Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, a lot of big names, a great quarterback in Herbert they have to worry about. How do you see the defensive line, if at all, making an impact on this game, and how do you see the secondary faring as well?
Yeah, it's kind of pick your poison, right? I think the defensive line has played much better in recent weeks against the run, again, after a shaky start to the season. So hopefully they can limit Austin Eckler a little bit. He's one of the best two-way running backs in the game, so it's going to be a challenge. And then, listen, Justin Herbert, another athletic quarterback. You want to get him off his spot, but even so, when he's on the move, he makes a lot of plays. So it's a really tough matchup. And then in terms of defending the receivers, I don't really know what the Patriots are going to do. I think maybe you put J.C. Jackson on Keenan Allen, put Jalen Mills on Mike Williams with a safety help over the top. Hope Kyle Duggar can hold his own against Jared Cook. But it's going to be a tough matchup. Those are really good pass catchers, and the Patriots secondary has the work cut out for them.
You brought up 2 key names, J.C. Jackson, Kyle Duggar. Devin McCourty left last game with an ab injury. He hasn't missed a game since 2015. And a positive side for Patriots fans and for the Patriots as well, did not pop up on the injury report yesterday. How important is Devin McCourty to this defense, especially preparing for a game like this, a big arm in Justin Herbert and great receivers as well?
Well, he's huge, and in addition to being one of their best players in the secondary, he's also a vocal leader in the locker room and just on the defense as a whole. And so, yeah, it was a great sign that he was out there this week practicing. He wasn't listed on the injury report yesterday, seemed to be moving well today at practice. And again, you said he hasn't missed a game since 2015. Entering last weekend's game, he played all but 1 snap this season. So this is a guy that never comes off the field. So the fact that he did come out of that game was concerning. But again, he's practicing this week. It seems like things are trending in the right direction for him to be out there this weekend.
And this will also be the Patriots' last game for the trade deadline of the NFL. Do you see them making any moves? And if so, where do you think they need to help out on this team?
Well, the Patriots always usually do something at the trade deadline, but it's never anything quite that big. I mean, I think the biggest deal in recent years was the second-round pick for Mohamed Sanu, which at the time seemed like a rough deal, and then it turned out being not a very good trade for the Patriots. So they typically don't do anything that would qualify as a blockbuster, but I would expect them to do something before Tuesday comes. And in terms of what they need, I think they need quite a bit, but especially depth. I think cornerback is the big one right now, with Jonathan Jones gone for the season and Stephon Gilmore not walking back through that door. And I think linebacker too, there's been depth issues there, injuries all over the linebackers. Definitely can use some help. And I think also maybe a receiver. I don't think they're going to do that, but I do think they could stand to get a faster receiver, or at least someone that can do more than what N'Keal Harry has offered this season, because it just really hasn't worked out for them. So multiple areas that I think the Patriots could address, and it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Thank you very much, as always, Dakota. George Balekji and Dakota, Randall.
Quick question for you. What are you going to be for Halloween?
I'm going to be a disco. Guy at a disco. Got a nice afro, chain, one of those loose shirts. What about for you?
I got like a Rite Aid quality Batman costume.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty tight. I should probably get a new one, but that's what it's going to be this year.
I thought you were about to say a Rite Aid employee. I was like, that is interesting.
No, Batman costume.
Hey, It's going to be cold on Halloween here. It's blistering out today. Dakota, remember the sleeves. I think vest weather is no longer. But for the Patriots, luckily heading to a warm LA.